Okay, here we go. This one's exciting, folks. This is part three. If you haven't seen parts two and one, they are in the backlog of your um, WhatsApp team chats. But I don't know if you know, there's about 250 odd of them on YouTube under Yessave Team Coaching because I upload it through YouTube. Okay, so you can go back and you can see them all. All right. So I'm very excited about this one because I believe what I'm about to share with you is fundamentally the hardest part of our business. This is the bit nobody wants to do. This is the bit everyone should do, but they don't do because, in truth, it's challenging. It's, in fact, I said it this morning, it's getting out from under the warm, soft, super comfy duvet and getting out of bed into the cold and going into our adventure zone where sometimes you get the old little bit of palpitations when it's really bad. Although they tell us that if you get a few of those, sometimes it shows that you're living, that you're alive, and everything's working. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen and I'd like you to jot down, because I'm not going to go through it all again. Let it come into play. By the way, I'm Lisa Ware. This is the Yessave Team Coaching. Sorry, apologies. Here we go. Here we are. So this is my dashboard. You guys need to go to the learning and training. And then you go to the Fast Start plan. And by the way, when you're with a new partner, it's better that you go into theirs, as I've explained in my previous one. We click go through. Did it work? There we go. We've talked about the why. Part one was all about how to approach people. All right. And we've talked about the why. We've talked about how the money works, the fundamental of, I'm sorry, I don't believe anyone joins this just because they're bored or they fancy being so kind. They just fancy doing everything for everybody else and they don't want to earn any money. I don't believe that. I believe fundamentally we come into this because we're out to earn some income. So I spent time explaining all this. Yeah. Now we're talking about building the list. Guys, prick your ears open. This is important. On the system, it's very basic, some of those questions. Who do you know that would like to save? Gee whiz. I mean, that is just I'm sorry to say it, guys, up to the head office. What a stupid question, honestly. The whole world talks about saving money. In fact, I hate that word because, in truth, isn't that a given? Don't we all want best value? Yeah. What is the point of scrimping and scraping and trying to find bargains in the supermarket? What's the point of that if you're not looking after the back end, which is the essential services at home? There's no point to it, is it? It's robbing Peter to pay Paul. And there is a clue how to help people start to think a little bit more logically. Because do you know what? I don't know why people get emotional about looking at their bills, but I think behind it is there's often apathy. I think there's often, oh, I know everything and I'm sorry, but the ego is massive in this. There are people out there, you've met them. Do you know what? They couldn't bear the thought that you could show them how you can reduce their bills because they like to think they found the best thing for their family. And that's ego. All right. It's massive. There's all that stuff. But you see, there's some things there. But now I want to show you how to help people build a big list. So one I prepared earlier, hopefully. There we go. Just bear with this while I find it, and then I'm going to bring it in the share. And I think anytime now you are possibly seeing a memory jogger. Marvellous. Right, guys, this is in your partner portals in the learning section. It's an acronym, FROGS, Friends and Family, Recreational, Occupational, Geographical, same name. Guys, you've got to sit with these either face to face or on Zoom, and you've got to take the time to do this. Because I promise you, if you don't, if they only come up with 15 names, they are not going to have any confidence whatsoever that this is something that they can do. Supposing they phone their first 7 people, and for one reason or another, which could be kids are doing school exams, there could be a mother in hospital like I've got at the moment. There could be so many reasons why they are unavailable to help. So we got to help them build a list. Now, look, guys, I'm not going to really. This is almost telling you to suck eggs, but the first thing you've got to do is say to them, right, write down one on in a book. I tell them to get themselves an A5 book, turn it upside down, round the other way, and write at the top contact list. One name per line, or even missing a line for each one, because then they can write notes. So there's got to be things like mum, might be mum and dad. They could be separated, they could be in different homes. And that could be, sorry to say this, every cloud has a silver lining. If they're separated, that could be 2 homes instead of 1. Then there's things like your parents' siblings. So that's aunties and uncles. And then there'll be nieces and nephews. All right. There'll be cousins. Okay. There's so many. And do you know what? And then if you look at this, if this partner is married, it's not just them, there's the other half's family too. Now, I get, oh, I'm not speaking to them. And I say, great, that's fine. A lot of mine, I'm not either. But I want you to write the names down anyway. Please, will you do this? Because you'll find so many people will turn around and say to you, I don't know anybody. Yes, they damn well do. If they're age 18 or over, they've come into contact with about 2,000 people. Fact, it's just helping them to bring back to memory all these people that they've been in contact with. We are not saying to them, please hear me out, do you know anybody in your family that would be really like to save some money? We are not saying that. We are making a contact list. That's different. So there's all those people. Then organically, parents of a younger age will probably still be working. They will have bosses and colleagues. They will have neighbours. They will have friends who have got families. And you've got that whole organic list again on each person. When someone says, I don't know anyone, I think to myself, are you living on an island completely on your own? This is ridiculous. Okay. There are loads of people. For their partner, a lot of them work. So there's colleagues and bosses there and friends. And then there's their friends' families. There's the colleagues' families. Oh my God, it goes on and on and on. And in fact, I have sat with someone and in 20 minutes, we built a list of 65 names who turned round and said to me, I don't know anyone. It's rot. It's just that we've got to help them draw out of here what's there. Recreational. Now, look, it says here things like, who do you spend some money with? You know, do you go to the pub? There's waitresses, there's shop assistants, cafes. We've got farm shops. I've got to know people. Does anyone go to the gym? Do they belong to any churches, charities? Do they attend any clubs? Oh my God, what about if they've got children? If they've got children, guys, guess what? The best networking is at the school gate. Then there's their children's friends' families. There is the teachers, the headmaster. Oh my God, it just goes on and on and on. There is so much here. Can I just say to you, if you meet somebody and they say, well, I don't belong to a church, I don't go to the gym, I don't do any sports, no, I don't attend any clubs. In fact, I spend my life indoors. Can I just say to you, why are you bothering to sign them up as a partner? Really, honestly, you've got to think about this. I think people are too quick to want to sign people up as partners. We've got to find people that have got a little bit of zing that actually do speak to people. Yeah. So let's look at the next one. Occupational. Who do they come into contact with because of work? Think of representatives, sales assistants, accountants, people from other departments. Who supplies them with products to help their business? Who do they possibly employ or who's above them? Right, guys, I've just had a guy come in. He came through on Facebook and he's cleaning my my green carpet. Do you think I've kept my business closed, my mouth shut? No, I haven't. This guy is doing a superb job, which I consider at a great price. First of all, I've already invited him to a business networking that I belong to, the Rotary Club, because actually we haven't got anybody that does that. And he lives in that particular area. So to me, it's like helping build his business more. Yeah. But also, I said to him, are you ready to write this down? One good turn deserves another. And you are doing a great job for me here. Do you know what? I'd love to reciprocate that favour. And he said, oh, what's that? And I said, well, what I do, I said, there's two things. I show people how to reduce their bills, and the other side is I show them how to have a second income. Did I say I help people save and make money? No, I did not. I use my words wisely. And he said, oh, how's that? So I said to him, because he's at the bottom of the stairs now, cleaning the stairs. And I said to him, how much do you think I spend on electric and two unlimited mobile phones and broadband and the landline phone and boiler and home cover? He went, oh, I don't know, at least 250 quid. I said, no, most months it's about 120. He went, what? I said, Matt, we need to talk, don't we? He said, yeah. He said, definitely. He said, if you could reduce me on my bills, he said, that's more holidays for me. I'm into cruising. Guys, we meet people all the time. Are we really doing ourselves any favour if we don't offer them? Because let's be honest, forget me. This is about doing him a favour. That's what I'm doing. Yeah? So I'm trying to help you here with this stuff. Right. Geographical contacts. It says here, do you know anyone that lives a long way? Lives in Aberdeen, Cornwall. It says check your mobile for national contacts you've saved. And then you could do things like, do you know anyone that lives in a place, for example, where there's a football team? Yeah. And it gives you ideas. Say name contacts. Oh my God. I mean, I'm going to let you read that for yourself. And then down here, it's huge. Look, members of parent teacher associations, babysitter parents, parents of your children. It goes on and on and on and on and on. And then if you're really getting stuck, and I believe by now you could have easily written 100 names down. Who wired your house? Who did your plumbing? Who painted your living room? Da, 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 da. Do you know anyone with blonde hair, ginger hair, black hair? Oh my God, look at this. Do you know anyone who's part of the Lions, Rotary, Women's Institute, the Masons? Do you know anyone that runs their business? Guys, the bigger the list, the bigger the income. And the most important thing of all, if they've got a big list, they're not going to worry if the first few people aren't available to talk to. Right. So, what's the next thing we do? I'll stop the share a minute because I want to see you all. The next thing we have to do is profile their list. It takes seconds to do so. So you say to them, and it's up to you how you do this, but I say to them, I'd like you to put a little tiny H against all those people you believe are homeowners. All right. And then you ask them to put a little star, a tick, a pound sign, against all the people, and I've written it down because the wording is who you think would like more money coming in the house. Did I say would like to earn an extra income? No. Who would like more money coming in the house? Can I just ask you, rhetorically, don't you think there's an awful lot of people would like more money coming in the house? And what they'll do, what you then do is say to them, okay, how many on your list are homeowners? Yeah. How many are da da da? This is how it begins now, because you're going to say to this new person, you may know some tenants and they could be family and friends, and you genuinely want to help them, but you're going to put them to one side until after the first 45 days, because I want to help you hit the target market that the company wants, which is homeowners where you are going to earn loads of money. And that's why you've joined. And I say to them all, my main aim in the first 45, 30 days is to stick 2 grand in your bank. That's what I'm aiming to do. If you don't treat this, as you can hear, with this passion and urgency, you will not get that response. Don't get me wrong, there's still some people you cannot shove to get going, all right? And that's up to them. But that all comes down to how you've interviewed them. And that was part 1 at the beginning. Okay. So now I've got a young lady, I won't say her name, but we'd already talked about homeowners and she only wrote homeowners down on her list. Okay. Now, if you meet someone that says, I haven't got any homeowners, I'm going to say to you, this is going to be damn difficult. Sorry, I'm being honest. It's coming back to what I've put out in the teams. If your target market is, for example, let's say it is young girls between the ages of sort of 9 and 15, but you start aiming at under 9s or over 15-year-olds, you ain't going to have a business, are you? So why would you get them off to the wrong start? And again, if they only know tenants, the reality is, are they going to earn any money? No, they're not. Because they're not going to earn customer bonus. They're not going to earn achiever promotional bonuses. They're not going to get achiever points, customers, Christmas stuff, feck. They're not going to get any of that if they don't know any homeowners. And you might say, well, that's really unfair. No, it's not. It's because the fact is the company has realised that of all the debt that's ever accrued, 97% of it is coming from tenants. I'm sorry, guys, and that's because of the whole they move all the time. They only have 6-month or a year contracts, and we're back to that again. So what we're out to do is help people, really help people. Now, look, if they've got some tenants, that can happen after the 45 days, but please let's not do that in the first 45. So now they've got their list. Let's move on to the next bit. Let me share my screen, which is here. So we've done the building the list. So now we click the next one. And now this is the script and contacting. I'm going to try and make this a little bit larger. There we go. Can I just ask if you could put your thumbs up if you can sort of read, hi, Sarah. Yeah, right. This is in your fast start plan. And it is an example. And I think, in my honest opinion, it's pretty damn good. It's what I did in the beginning. Hi, Sarah. I hope you and the family are well. Looks like you had a great time in Spain. That's a little bit of chit chat. It's called rapport. You wouldn't ring someone up and go straight in, would you? But then you don't spend 10 minutes of your call just chit chatting to begin with. And this is Danielle. I'm just after a bit of a favour. Guys, People will do more to help them as a favor than they will do for themselves. If you ring them up and say, I can save you money on your gas electric, you'll probably get a bad response immediately. Because I don't know how many companies say that. As you know, remember this was it, this was all part of it. As you know, she says, I'm a teacher. Oh, what I love about it is obviously helping people. She might have said helping the children. However, here we go. The problem is, since having my own children, the long hours are not working because it's actually counterproductive. In fact, Danielle says there comes a point, and I hear this from all the teachers I've got in my business, when all of a sudden it's kind of weird that when they have their own, well, why wouldn't they want to have more time with their own children? They're not, they in fact, they cite that they realize they're spending more time helping other people's children than their own. That cannot be good for the soul. Yeah. So I found an opportunity. You could say, I found a business, I found a venture. Lovely word, venture, like that. That's going to enable me to spend more time with the family and go part-time covering the loss of income. So we've got problem. Now we've got solution. Okay. Problem solution. As part of my training, I just need to show. Now you could say, I've been told I've got to show 6 friends and family what I'm doing. But she says I need to show some friends and family what I'm doing. It's working with a company that guarantees to help people save money on their household bills. So guys, this isn't cloak and dagger and not telling anyone what it's about. But I feel this is where people go wrong. They are not putting the emphasis on the fact that the call they're making is about that they need help to get going. They could put in there, my mentor said to me, you can't learn to drive a car that's parked. In fact, I've got to get straight in the driving seat and I need real live people. And do you know what? You're one of the loveliest people I know. And I know you wouldn't mind helping me. And we share the same values. Oh my God, I can reel this stuff off because do you know what? Rapport is about having the same values. That's why you've got to tell these new people, don't go for the, sorry guys, if you're there, don't go for the analytical greens or the people with the egos. Go for the lovely, yellow, kind people that just want to do them a favour, that will help them out with practice. It's about the practice. It's not about that they're going out there to sell to their friends. All right? They're not. This is about practice. Now, I just need 20 minutes on a video call with my mentor. Mentor, yeah. Coach, I think, is a little bit nicer personally. It's a bit softer, I think. It may even save you some money. But if not, that's okay, as I'd value your feedback and it's going to help me with my training. Would you do that for me? Now, there are all ways that you can rearrange that and you can put it in your own words, their words, but fundamentally, there is some core psychology statements in there. It's about the practice for the partner. They've got to realise they're making the calls. Right, I'm going to stop this because honestly, I'm going to get so animated. Listen, guys, I know that picking up the phone for many younger people is alien. I know it is. Do you know that they say to me, I've been chatting? No, they haven't. They've been texting. And in fact, there is one young lady that says that she wrote the script, but she sent it out on WhatsApp and then wonders why she's not getting anything back. Because people don't have to respond, do they, to a message? But more importantly, as she found, and she did explain, that the sad thing is somebody turned round and said, "Oh, well, my husband's been checking it all out and no, he doesn't want to." No, that wasn't the point. That's why you don't send a message. The point to make the call is they hear the passion, they hear the intonation. I'm after help. Do you know what? If you just send a script out, it looks like a script. Is that true? Whereas if you're talking to somebody, it's two-way conversation, it's proper communication, and your friend can hear, they can hear your passion, they can hear it all. And then if you're on the phone, this is where we do the alternative close because then you say to them, "Oh, look, come on." For example, I don't know, "Come on, Anne, help me out. Listen, be one of my lovely first six people. I really need the practice. I've got to see how to learn to do this. And I can't do it without live people because all the role play in the world isn't going to help me." There's a great statement. Isn't that true? So then the new partner, this is what you've got to teach them, guys. You've then got to say to them, now look, say to them, "Look, my coach has given me a diary. I know when I'm free. Look, is there any opportunity? Could you do, for example, tomorrow night or Thursday evening?" And what that does is it then makes them think about their diary or their calendar. But I know what goes on when they send a text. They go, "Are you free next week?" Well, I'll tell you what, this is Christmas. Everyone will turn around and go, "I'm not free." Rot. Everybody's got some free time. It depends how you actually prioritize it. Yeah, that's truth. That really is truth. So what we've got to do is direct that new partner's got to understand they've got to direct that person and give an alternative close because what it will do is pin down the appointment. So then let's say that person says, "No, I can't do tomorrow night, but actually I can do Thursday." To which your new partner then has to say, "Well, do you know what? This could either be done at 6:30 or 7:30." And my coach has actually said the latest she'll do is 8 o'clock because she can see the diary. And I believe that all of them need to be spaced at least an hour apart. Because what happens when you do that presentation, I find that the people that do it perfectly well, exactly as I'm just saying, the people that do these calls well, I'm sorry, like it's the evidence is there. They're the ones that get the appointments, and then hey presto, these people come on and they go, because I'm like, "Thank you for giving your time. Oh, it's really kind of you. Do you know what? Time is the most valuable commodity we've got because I can't give you back this next 20 minutes. But do you know what? It might benefit you, like so and so said." Then I do the presentation, and do you know what happens? At the end, they go, "Oh, oh yeah, yeah, I could be interested in saving some money." To which I then say, nice and authentically, "Well, look, have you got another 15 minutes now? Because we didn't actually, we didn't assume anything because this is about practice. But if you have, we can give you an apples for apples comparison." And do you know what's really nice? Your friend here, the partner, she's going to see the next bit, how you learn to do that. And they go, "Yeah, yeah, go on then." And I can't tell you how many of those people convert because it was done correctly at the beginning. So if you feel I'm being harsh, I'm not. What is the point of me coaching stuff that doesn't work? Is there any point in that at all? There's none. And even if you've been in a long time, I promise you, you can adapt those scripts. And the Claire Hinger and Hannah Leaning getting restarted is magic. Get yourself on one of those because they adapt those scripts. I mean, I can do it over and over again because it's part of my DNA now. But guys, I'm spending the time with you explaining all this because I believe the Fast Start plan is not being done correctly. Otherwise, we'd see more conversions. We'd see more QD stars. Now, up north, Claire Bracey has got, oh my God, she's got flipping hundreds of QD stars happening through the team. Why? because she says to us in our group, do you know what she says? Exactly what I've just said. We don't allow them to send messages out. We tell them you've got to pick up the phone. And that I know is alien to some folk. And I know it does require, but if they can understand that they can emphasize it's more about the practice for them. And also, things like they're going to learn how to use Zoom, things like that. There's a whole wealth of learning experience, yeah, which can only happen outside of fake role play. So that is the crux of the Fast Start plan. Now, I'm just going to share my screen again. So what I do is send this out to them immediately on a WhatsApp. Okay. And then there are other things I send to them attached to an email, including another version of this script. But to be honest, I actually think this is really good, this script. It's brilliant. So now look, guys, watch. If I scroll up, the very last bit is, oh, I need to make it smaller now, don't I? There we go. Because the very last bit is training and events. And to be honest, it's getting them, booked on their Launch Your Business training, the very first one. I call it LYB. Yeah. And it's showing them again all those different other trainings that are free and included. It's telling them about buzz events. In fact, have a look for their nearest buzz or the soonest buzz and say, come on, get yourself along because there's going to be people in your area that it's going to help. And then last of all, there is a summary. All right, there's a summary of what we've been talking about. But I'm going to say this, stop the share. The last thing that you don't miss out, and you see it when I send out an applause to somebody that brings in a new partner, you absolutely tell them about Power Up. You tell them about the kickoffs, okay? Because it could be so much worse to spring it on them only a week or 2 weeks before. It's now. I don't know why some people avoid this. I think they think they're putting too much on someone. But look, if they're serious and they're committed about improving their life, increasing their income, reaching out to attain the things that they need, it could be filling that mortgage gap, anything. Why wouldn't you tell them about stuff that's going to be so incredible to really help them? So I'll leave you with this very last thought on the whole Fast Start plan thing. Do you think anyone here believes I am miffed, irked, cross that all those 23 years ago, Mr. Robert Barras offered me this opportunity? You've got to see the bigger picture. Remember, it's not about for you, it's about for them. And there are so many good things here. Zig Ziglar says, if you help enough people get what they want, you'll get everything you want. And I'd say that this is a pretty amazing business, but I can't say it as well as Art Jonak because he says it in a different way. And it's like, whoa, straight to the heart. Yeah, stunning. Guys, 3 parts I've given you about the Fast Start plan. I promise you, the other thing you've got to do, this is my last, because I'm going over. The last thing is you've actually got to touch base with that person every day. You cannot leave a single day. Now, that might be just drop them a voice WhatsApp note, much nicer than writing. Again, let them hear you, your passion, yeah? Because every day that goes by, there are dream stealers out there that are going to get to them and make them realize and make them think they're doing the wrong thing. And also, there's so many out there that believe everything can be done through Facebook. No, it can't. It just honestly can't. All right. So, guys, I hope that was helpful. Next week, which is a kind of I've had somebody, I can't remember who asked me, but I'm going to go through, I've done it on occasions before, but I'm going to go through the presentation and how I do it because I think that's also valuable. All right. So thank you very much if you've been listening. I hope it's been helpful and I will follow through with stuff back out to everybody. But I'm back off to the hospital again, as I am every single day. Okay, guys, all the best. Lots of love. Bye bye.